Please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
The latest from the case surrounding Sterlite's copper plant in Tuticorin, which was shut down following mass protests in the city in March. Today, the National Green Tribunal has formed a judicial committee to hear all sides. This comes after a Supreme Court decision directing that the maintainability and merit of Sterlite's case should be heard and decided by the NGT. Ashmit Kumar is here with the details. Ashmit, what is going to be the judicial committee's mandate and what's next as far as this case is concerned?
Well, what we understand is that the NGT has passed on the burden of adjudication onto a judicial tribunal, a judicial committee, I beg your pardon. What the NGT observed that this is a technical matter, it's best that experts in the field are the ones deciding for it. So for purposes of deciding this entire dispute, the judicial committee has now been formed. It will be headed by a retired judge. He will be accompanied by technical officials, technical members, technical representation from the CPCB as well as the MOEF. It will have representation from both sides. It will be a three-member panel. And what's interesting is that the NGT has not left the window open. It has set a deadline that by 8 weeks, a final report will have to be submitted by the committee. Now, what's interesting is that the way the road forward, as far as road forward is concerned, this committee's findings will then subsequently be binding on the Tamil Nadu Pollution Control Board, which, keeping in mind the decision of this judicial panel, will have to formulate a decision on whether or not to renew the consent for operating. Now, that's clearly this is will be the big step moving forward. But what's interesting is that in the interim, the NGT has refused Vedanta's prayer of allowing Vedanta access for maintenance of the plant. The burden of maintenance has now been cast on the CPCB as well as the MOEF. However, Vedanta will be allowed access for performing of administrative tasks. So in the interim, no relief coming in, but clearly Vedanta will be eyeing this as an opportunity to clear the air and once and for all secure the permission to continue operating the Tuticorin facility.
Okay.
Back to you.
Okay, Ashmit, thanks for taking us through the entire process. It's a complicated case, of course, but hopefully there should be some clarity on the way ahead. Quick exclusive story then. E-commerce giant Amazon is looking to expand its footprint in India's retail market. Sources tell us that the online retailer may join hands with private equity firm Samara Capital to acquire Aditya Birla Group's food and grocery chain More. Now, this comes at a time when US retail giant Walmart has partnered with India's Flipkart to tap the country's rapidly growing retail market. CNBC TV18's Nisha Poddar, who brought that story earlier, is here with the contours of the potential deal. Nisha, by when can we expect the final announcement here?
That's right. It's a big transaction in the retail space and we've been tracking it. In fact, we broke the story in March this year when Samara Capital had just initiated talks to buy out More. Now, Amazon has come into the picture, which makes this transaction even larger. 4,200 crore rupees is what sources tell us is going to be the total deal size for buying out 100% of Aditya Birla Group's closely held retail arm More by Samara Capital, which will be backed by Amazon. We do gather that Amazon wasn't talks with Samara Capital for a while, but they had to come up with a structure which will be in line with the FDI regulations in the retail segment in India, and therefore they have come up with the SPV structure by way of which Amazon is likely to buy out first 33% and then 49% in this particular asset and back Samara Capital in making this particular transaction. We do gather Samara is also going through an AIF format. The deal is in the final stages currently and likely to be announced very soon in a matter of a couple of weeks is what we gather from sources with direct knowledge. Now, this will help Aditya Birla Group in two ways. First, the stop loss in the loss-making More, and also on the other hand, recover a large part of the investments that have already been made in More.